Hello everyone, hope you're all well. This is Daniel here of Dingle Peninsula Fishing and Hunting, and this is something I wanted to do for a while. I've been asked to do it, so today I'm going to do it. So basically, everybody has heard me mounting off for a long time about the fish counter statistics on the River Maine. So I've been watching them for a long time, ever since the fish counter went in. And I suppose in the Castlemaine district, there is only one fish counter. You have a harbour, Castlemaine Harbour, with a number of very prominent salmon rivers flowing into that, and some small rivers as well that are forgotten about completely. And the fish counter is key to that fishery. It's key to the whole area actually, and as we can see in the River Feel, the fish counter was the main reason why nets had to stop in the caching and the anglers had to go catch and release. And if you look at the fish counter results, you can see the benefit of that. Thousands of new thousand. I think I'm not 100% sure, but I will give my what I think were the figures. I think it was down. They were nearly down to 2,000 fish in the River Feel back a number of years ago, and like that was a river that could have had at one time over 20,000 fish. So they had to stop netting, and they have reaped the rewards now, and the anglers came together, and I suppose that is key, is anglers coming together. But unfortunately, that doesn't happen all the time, and it's happening here where anglers don't come together, and the rivers are really suffering, and it's in the data. It's all in the data. I'm going to show you. I'm going to do a number of these if I get time. Today I had a bit of time, so I said I'd make this up, and I'm going to show. The picture is not the River Maine, it's just something off PowerPoint, but this is what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically go through screenshots of each year. So from 2016 2022 today, I'm going to go through the numbers. So basically here, this is the fish counter results are released every year, usually around April. They were released this year in April. They were taken down. They were put back up. I applied under the Freedom of Information why it was taken down, and they told me it's because there was a typo, something to do with the River Boyne fish counter. So it was nothing to do with the Maine. But I'm going to show people why I am worried and why I have been fighting. I wouldn't say fighting, just I'm showing an interest. You know what I mean? I'm showing an interest in my local river now. It is what it is. But as we can see here, in 2016, you can see a table here, fish species, and this is the number of fish. Now, the problem I have, I'm like, this is all me. I'm not involved with anyone really, only myself. So, in 2016, you had 338 spring salmon go over the fish counter River Maine. Now, spring is classified anything from January until May. Okay? Now, first and foremost, the River Maine is not a spring fish river. It's just not. I'm not saying there's no spring fish in it, but very few and far between. My argument, and there's another angler that there was a couple of us involved. A lot of them want to remain nameless because they're whatever forever whatever reason. That's fine, but we know that this figure is actually sea trout. You know what I mean? I have caught sea trout in the River Maine up to £6. I've all if anyone wants to see pictures of that, just go back on my Facebook page and you'll see I've caught a lot of sea trout, big sea trout, and to say like in 2016 that 235 sea trout went up, so more spring salmon went up the Maine than did sea trout. That is just, and I will go into all this later, but it needs to be said. Back in 2010, the River Maine was closed, and the fishery in Castlemaine and Cremorne was closed because at the time there was no fish counter. But like, I suppose there's people that are more knowledgeable about this than me, but I'm only going on what I am viewing. I don't work in the industry. I'm just an angler. I have a very big interest in it, but I'm going to explain what I believe is going on. You know what I mean? I believe that, like, number one, in the spring salmon is not a realistic figure, not just 2016 but every year, and you're going to see, and you would be thinking that all these would be roughly the same every year. There might be up and down, but they're not. There's nothing on the fish counter in River Maine that you could, like, if you were to look at it and it wasn't labelled, you'd say you'd think they're completely different readings. But back in 2010 there was a publication, the Castlemaine pilot fishery, and it states in that the scientists said that for a fishery to be opened in Castlemaine, only verified data was allowed. That's it. They said only verified data. So these have to be verified. Spring salmon and sea trout and Grilson sea trout all have to be verified. They need, every sea trout needs to be counted and it needs to be verified. Every spring salmon. It's never been done. What we are actually doing is beyond ridiculous and beyond criminal, actually. So we can see in 2016 spring salmon, 338 spring salmon, 930 grills, 435 and 435 late summer salmon, 235 sea trout, and no lamprey or eels. Now this is another thing. You know, if you don't have video, which is needed, how can you say that a lamprey didn't go over the weir? Now I know people say they can't get over, but if it's not counted as a salmon, you know, this is the stuff you have to ask. And I have been asking, but I'm getting no answers. I have been gone down the legal road. I've gone down every side, but you don't get any answers. So we go on. This is 2017. Now let's go back. So in 2017, let's listen to this. In 2017, we had 1,233 spring salmon in the River Maine. That is ridiculous. That means in 2017, the River Maine was one of the best spring rivers in the country. There's no spring salmon in it. I would actually even go further and say this figure here, 95% of them would have been sea trout. So you can see 241 sea trout. I mean, but it's just beyond ridiculous. It's crazy. And the problem here is, all these figures go to TAGOS, the technical, what is it, TAGOS, the technical expert group that sorts all this out. But if these figures are wrong, the nets in Cremorne shouldn't be on. You know, and you have to understand too. Look, counted on operational is 60 days. These are the days that the counters is working. It's not working 60 days, so that's a month. Well, no, it's only 2 months of the year. What month which month of the year was it not working? If it wasn't working for 2 months of the spring season, that means the figures could be 1,600 spring salmon. 2017 is a disaster. It's just not. Like, how can you go from, in 2016, 338 spring salmon to the next year, 1,000 more fish? No lampreys this year. Let's go to 2018. Again in 2018, you've no grills. But you've got 1,458 spring salmon and 300 and only. It's absolutely comical. It's a joke what's going on here. This fish counter is keeping a fishery open in Cremorne, and it's criminal. And I'll tell you another thing, I won't stop until someone's held accountable. I'm not going anywhere. This is all fun for me. I don't give a shit. It doesn't bother me one bit. You know what I mean? But whoever is saying these figures are factual, these are not verified. You know what I mean? We're killing our own rivers. And the IFI and the Marine Institute and all the people say they're conserving. They're not. And every one of those persons involved in these figures I would hold accountable. I can guarantee you that. I won't name names now, but I will name names. I have them all. I've been emailed. I have them all. They know who they are. So let's go to 2019. 2019, 413 spring salmon, 413 grills. What are the chances of that happening? Can somebody tell me how can that happen? And I would mind, but the fish counter is not operational for nearly 3 months of the year. These figures, which are keeping this river open and keeping the River Maine, like, also if people go back and read the Castle, like all the documentation about the Castlemaine fishery, it clearly states the scientific recommendations is that rivers like the River Imla, in other words the Inch River, the Behy, and the Aunascar River must be known that the Aunascar River is in the Castlemaine district. It's part of the Castlemaine catchment, the Owen-Scaul River. All these rivers are being affected by nets in Castlemaine Harbour. That is the reality. This fish counter is not reading figures, but then you talk to people in the IFI and they tell you, well, oh, the reproduction rate in River Maine is very good. That is not the case. If that's the case, the scientists back in 2010 would have said, all we need is reproduction figures, data. And if these rivers' reproduction data is good, we can keep it up. But no, I don't believe the publication from the electrofishing from the IFI, because I tell you why. If you look at all the figures from the Imla, the Inch River, from the Behy to the Lown and them rivers, and you look at the River Maine, the difference is astronomical. You know what I mean? So let's go 2020 again. No comparison. We go from 1,400, nearly 1,500 fish, spring fish, to 163 in 2020, and then we have 1,500 grills, and then the sea trout is gone, are completely gone. You know, no more lampreys, no more 2021, 2,000 grills. 2022, 204. That looks a bit better, but the problem I have with this one in 2022 is, where's all the sea trout gone? None of the figures are verified. We are leaving a river and a catchment open, and it's quite unreal when salmon are completely and utterly in decline how this is allowed. Nobody cares though, in my opinion. They don't look at these figures and say, oh, there might be a problem here. They take them figures and that's it. But I will be doing around 10 of these. The next one I'm going to look at the catch and release figures, which is another ridiculous. I don't want to say that there's something fraudulent going on here. I don't know what's going on here. I would like to think from my own moral compass that the people that I work with the IFI and the people that work with the Marine Institute are there because they want to conserve salmon and they want to do what's right. But it just doesn't look that way. If there's questions to be answered, this river should be closed. And this is another problem. The anglers don't want the river closed. This is another thing, the conservation limit is a mixture of things. But if the data on the fish counter is wrong, if the catch records, if anglers are filling out their logbooks in fear that the river might close the following year, how is the way we formulate a conservation limit actually working? I don't know. I will do, if these people want me to do more of these, I will. There's no problem. But again, if you look through the different years, I mean, in 2018 we had 23 grills. And then in 2021 we have 2,000 grills. You know, I don't know, lads. I really don't know. But this is my interest. I'm interested in this stuff. I'm an angler. I love reading publications and looking at the data. So, it is what it is. Thank you.